Hi everyone, welcome back to part 60 of my TemTem playthrough. Last episode we completed a couple of quests. I believe we have gone through a quest on Umbra project, which I think will be going to the outer layer of Punsan. I'm pretty excited for that, but since it's a pretty huge quest, I'm just going to keep it aside for now. We're gonna go ahead and explore a couple more on the other quests and go from there. I believe I was back in tennis, or at least that's what I'm guessing from this title screen. I think I was just trying to locate all of the teleporter points. Apparently I was not in tennis. It seems that I'm in Kasiwa. It's just fine. Alright, let me move around a bit. I think my focus today is definitely going to be on Sipanku. This region has a lot of quests to complete, including the Angry Kami quest, which by the way will have you explore through the temple for crystal TemTems. I do have a 2Y which I will be evolving at some point, so we're just going to go through this one today. The tough part for this is that you do have to have a team full of digital TemTems, which is a bit trickier. I just have Arcanite in my team, so I do have to just hope that the other team members can pull through. A couple of these were actually from Aubrey, so if you do go through Aubrey, there are a couple digital TemTems you'll be able to find, which are in higher level. If you do not find, just add a group full of Arcanites. You'll be able to find Arcanites at level 80 in the castle. So definitely go with that one. I think that is a pretty good idea. I do have another Arcanite in my team here. I believe it is at level 72 or maybe around 75. That one will help as well. Just gonna use Mortal here. Definitely need to evolve this one at some point. As for the TemTems, I do have a lot of them to evolve. I believe I've already completed the Tempopedia, but I do need to have each of these TemTems in my box. So that is going to be another goal to achieve. I think it's going to be a tougher one considering that most of these TemTems do evolve a bit later. I believe I have around 3 of these tamers to take down. This is the second one. It's usually the third or the fourth tamer that gives a bit of an issue, considering that they do have some higher level TemTems, but here we do see that he is the second tamer. This one's gonna be a tough battle. For Lotel, I believe, a digital move should take it down, and the same for West Green. Unfortunately, I don't have a level 90 TemTem, which makes it a bit trickier to take it down. Hejan is pretty powerful, but it should go down in one hit as well. I wonder if there is a digital TemTem that is also part water type. If it was, I believe that would have made it so much easier to take down Hejan. Probably there is, and I'm just not remembering it. Cyclops will definitely go down. It is twice weak to digital type moves. Thankfully, Mortal seems to be pretty tough and is able to kind of withstand most of these moves. It's also leveling up a bit here. I'm just going to keep it in my team until it fails and then switch into another one. But for now, let's move on forward. I might have to heal up my team. Let me actually quickly do that. Here's the third one. Seems like this one is from the Nanto Labs. Let's see the amount of TemTem she has. Zobin is pretty powerful. As long as you have a electric type TemTem, you should be able to deal with it. I would say Obi-Wan is the best opponent for this, or you could definitely try using another Zobin. I believe my Arcanite will go down over here as well, considering that she actually has 5 TemTems. She has the OB10. I wonder how this TemTem actually evolves. Hopefully it does through a level up, which I could possibly do. Arknight barely survives with 2 HP, but at least we're able to take down one of the opponents. Now right here I do have to decide to switch into another one, and I decide to go into the Arknight. I believe it is one of the better TemTems out there. Let's see how this goes. Now the second Arknight actually has a different trait from mine. If you remember, mine has the digital protection. The second one probably is able to actually switch into the different typings due to its trait. This is gonna be pretty helpful. I believe my second Arknight is now part electric, as it did get hit by electric type move. This stops it from getting more damage from other moves, although it is weak to digital type moves at this point. That's alright, we are able to take down the third TemTem. Now here's a new move called Cozy Net that I just found out. This one traps your TemTem or your opponent for 3 turns and puts it to sleep for 2. I believe this would be a really good help when you're going against Rex. Considering that he likes to switch out his TemTems, this one will actually trap it. In any case, there we go. We are able to defeat her. Although I do have to heal up before this last battle. I believe we'll be able to find a sticker here as well. Just like this temple, we do have another one in Aubrey, and I'll definitely try to go through that one today. There is one in Anak Volcano, but I'm gonna keep it aside until we do explore that, which probably will take around an episode just to go through that whole volcano. It's a pretty huge area. Now this tamer here, the final one, actually has a Mimit, and apparently it just copied my Arknight, the one that I actually use in my team. Unfortunately, it has the digital protection, which makes it, not weak to any digital type moves. I do have to be a bit careful and see if there are other moves that I can actually use. Mouchel has a move to recover itself, which is what I used right there. I think that was pretty helpful. He has another Mimit, which is annoying. I believe he has another one in his team, but that's alright. Unfortunately, he took in the DNA from my Arknight. I think Mimit is a pretty good TemTem. The only thing is that you have to be sure that your opponent has a really good TemTem as well. Without it, I think it's not that great. Thankfully, the second Mimit is at level 65. This should make it a bit more easier to defeat. In this case, I'm just gonna switch into my other Arknight and hope that it actually works out. Right. At least one of the Mimit is gonna go down in the next turn. Thankfully, due to Digi Protection, my second Arknight doesn't really take too much damage. I believe Digi Protection gives around 30% decrease in the moves that the opponent actually uses. Although I must say this battle is a bit tougher than the other ones. There goes down both of the Mimits. Up next we have a 2-wire. That is what we'll be actually getting from evolving 2-wire Pure in the area. At this point my game actually crashed, so I did have to bring it back in. Apparently Arknight is now at almost no health. Did have to go ahead and heal it up. Popoise is another one that I'm pretty interested in, considering that it has a unique, I would say, evolution as well as design. But here is the last Mimit. Kind of annoying, but I definitely have to take it down. I think Unseen Blow is a really good move against it, considering that it is really not that effective. Or in this case, I would say more effective than the digital type moves. which as you can see here, I did use. I think I'll focus on Mimic first and then try to take down Tuwire. Going with Unseen Blow on both of these TemTems. Alright, Tuwire is almost down. Arknight did get hit here pretty bad, but I'm hoping that the Unseen Blow will take down the Mimic. I was also hoping that Tuwire would knock itself out, but apparently it didn't. So I do have to wait for another turn. In this case, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and use a move. There we go. We have defeated this person as well. Since this is a part of the, I would say, Angry Kami side quest, we are actually able to now complete it. Once we do talk to him and enter the Sanctum, we're able to register it. There we go. I think this was the last area to register here in Sipanku. We also get another new sticker, but I think it's really not that enough. We do have around 200 stickers to complete and I'm at 90 stickers right now. Once we do head outside, there's another lady that we have to talk to. She's right here. Yoko is the one. Since we have actually gone through it, she gives us the hacked microchip. Now this item is pretty unique. I don't believe there is a second one, so definitely go ahead and equip it to your digital TemTem. As for the quest here in this office building, apparently after researching about it, there are a couple of different quests, including the winners use reference quest that we have to complete before we get this one done. I believe this quest was called the QA quest. Either way, stepping outside, let's see what else we can do. I believe we have the secret key area to complete, the quest from the main priest. Why not tackle it this episode? It's gonna be pretty long. I might have to divide it into another episode, but I'm just gonna go ahead and see how much we can actually cover right now. We also have a layer right here which will actually activate once we go through the secret key locations. Probably this one is actually called High Above, and we do have to unlock quite a few things here to get access to the lair. Now High Above is actually a pretty huge area, and unfortunately I really have no idea where I'm supposed to go. So I do have a map opened with me. This map has certain numbers for each of the key doors, and we are just going to go ahead and explore everything before going through the right one. High Above also has specific TemTems like Cyclox here. There's also Grumper, which if you haven't really caught yet or evolved in your team, you can definitely find one here. I'm going to try and find all the new TemTems and then explore this place. There are a couple of items you'll be able to find and a couple of tamers. I think the tamers are a bit interesting as they are quite opposite of how they are back where we come from. Here's a Grumper. I'm just going to try and catch this one. This is specific TemTem that I'm looking for. Not any to add to my team, but just to add to the box as a TemTem that I would have recorded into the Tempopedia. For now, I would recommend having a lot of items. This place doesn't really have much other than a couple of, I would say, special items for breeding. So definitely you need to go ahead and heal up yourself using the field. Now this gate here, I would name it 15, and the one that I entered through is actually the gate number 1. I'm just naming it based on where I'm actually going. This might give you a reference of where you can actually start exploring in your own game. You'll also be able to find Gyro. I would recommend catching this one before you explore the Aisha's hut. I believe that is what we call the temple for evolving Tubai into into its earth form. This would have helped way better if I did have it in my team. It's at level 60, which is the highest level that the tamer would have over there as well. It does have some unique moves which I definitely have to equip into my team as well. I believe there are different TemTems that you would actually need before you come here. In my case, I do have all of these TemTems in my team, which made it much easier. I'm going to talk about it more when we go near the device. Here's our very first tamer. All of these tamers, by the way, are people you might know that you would have actually talked to till now in your storyline. So it's pretty funny to see them talk the opposite of what they really are. Alright, here we have a couple of people. It's pretty nice to see a Wolverine here. I haven't seen one after Tukma, so it's surprising to see one. Although I do have to be a bit more careful. These TemTems are pretty higher in level. I believe this area is actually unlocked once you complete Zipanku. You don't really have to go through with the whole storyline on the Flying Castle with Bells of the Clan. You can definitely complete this one before that. So if you're planning to add Grumper or any other TemTem that you can actually find here into your team, this is definitely the right place for that. At this point, it seems that Arcanite is leveling up. I'm hoping to actually level up all of my team to level 100 before we complete all of these side quests. So hopefully that actually happens. There are a couple other quests that do need us to battle people, and I think this would be a really good time to go through them. Up next we do have Shuin, which is a pretty tricky TemTem. It's part crystal and part water. Quite helpful if you are going through a couple of these areas. If I do actually play through this game again, I probably will add Shuin to my team, or maybe Nezla. Definitely one of those, considering that both of them are really good water type TemTems. Now that we have defeated this tamer, the next thing to do is go through to the end. I believe this place is actually a dead end. If you're wondering which is the number 1 gate, it is the first keyhole that you'll actually be able to find immediately once you enter the Sacred Lake. Here's another one. Sorak. I wonder if we'll be able to actually battle him. Apparently not. But here's the device I was talking about. In order to, I would say, unlock the lair, you have to actually have specific TemTems with specific powers. Here we needed one with electric type, and once you do actually display them, the electric type TemTem, it actually unlocks. I believe there are around 12 of them with different types, and you just have to, I would say, interact with them. Here's the second keyhole. This is the one that is right on top of the first one. I'm going in the clockwise direction. I think that makes it much easier to explore. The third keyhole is right here. I believe this one has another item. Now the loading does take a bit of a time, but this is the third gate. We do have 2 people that we might know here, but as you might see, the names are actually reversed. Unfortunately, I was not able to record the video for that, but here is the activation of that code. This one had a nature type TemTem. Going into the 4th door, it seems that we are at the top of the lake. I believe the whole design of this higher bow is actually based on it. So all of the areas, the different islands, are actually around the same length as the river or the lake itself. Here we have another tamer. This one has a Regnite and Rolder. I think it is a much easier battle for us to win. Definitely have to switch out Arcanite as it's weak to electric type moves. As for older, I think I might have to switch out Antan, considering that Antan is actually 4 times speed to ground type moves. Rockfall should do much better. I definitely have to switch into Nagas, but I'm a bit worried about the Reignite. If it doesn't go down, thankfully which it did, I think I would have a bit of an issue. I think I'll go with Nagas Fury the next turn. That should take down the Rolder in one hit. I believe this is one of those episodes where my game actually crashed a couple of times, and I believe by the end of this episode it probably crashed around 10 times. This is definitely not a issue with my game. I think it's my internet. I'm sitting quite far away from it, so probably it is causing it to fail. Either way, we are in the 5th keyhole. There's really nothing over there, so I'm just going to go to the next one. There are total 21 keyholes, and I believe the 11th one is the right pathway. Here is the map for it. Although the map really is a bit confusing. I'm not going to go to the 11th keyhole. I'm just going to keep it aside for the next episode. As for the others, we're just going to go ahead and explore it in this one. We have around 10 tamers in different places. So I'm just going to try and defeat all of them just before exploring the end. Alright, this one actually has 5 TemTems. Might have to be a bit careful. As for the Scrunch, I think a digital type move should take it down. Last two are Inky and Golzi. I think I should have just switched into Nigas. That would have been a much better choice. Unfortunately, I won't be able to switch after this as I am logged in. Let's see if Golzi goes down, which it does. There we go. This battle is over as well. Going down. Now this is actually a pretty huge cliff. It has 3 different pathways with multiple tamers. It also connects to the 7th keyhole, so you don't really have to explore that one. I think this episode is just me exploring this part. It's pretty long. I think it took me around 2 hours to complete this, considering that my game was crashing a lot. But that's still better than just going through the Umbra project quest, which I believe is also equally long, but probably does need more time, considering that we have to go through a lair over there. They literally force us to go through one to complete that quest. A lair is a pretty interesting idea. It's just that you would have to use any random TemTem that they actually provide you and go through at least, I believe, 15 stages to then finally defeat the, I would say, legendary TemTem, which actually once you defeat them, you'll be able to get an egg for that TemTem. The only issue is that all of this is based mostly on what TemTem you get, as well as if you are able to defeat the final boss. The boss actually is not just a single battle. I've heard that you have to defeat them probably around 6 to 7 times before you'll be able to get the egg. So it's pretty tough, especially since you're just trying to, I would say, use a team that was given to you in random. You also do not get any chance of using any items in there other than the ones that you're actually able to buy inside the lair. You do have to defeat a couple of tamers and then get enough points to actually buy the items. Although it's a pretty good idea, I think it's a bit more challenging and you would have to know which TemTem to specifically use before going through it. I would probably be going through that at some point and I'm excited for it, but it's just that it's a bit more trickier to go through. By the way, we're doing pretty well against most of these tamers. Here's one with Dr. Hamijo. I believe he renamed himself as Omija right now and is working for Nanto Labs. After all, he is the one that gave us the quest for Umbra project. Either way, let's quickly defeat his side pack as well. There we go. There are a couple more places that we'll actually explore, although I'm really not sure how much. I'm trying to keep this episode to half an hour. If it is a bit longer, probably I'll skip it. Here's Civilian Y, which I think is a turn for General X. It's pretty hilarious considering that he is in support of the Congress rather than the general that we know before. Valer and Cesare are his famous TemTems. He does go for them the very first time we go against him. I wonder if we'll be able to see Max in this lair. That will be much interesting considering that she will address us as the Belsoto clan team member and herself as a Congress member. Either way, we are doing pretty well against these two. Although I still have to defeat one more TemTem, or two more in this case. For Kazuma, I'm just going to switch into Antan, and for Rikan, I'm just hoping that it will go down with Oshukai. We do get hit by a pretty strong move, although it did absolutely nothing. Using a crystal type move on Kazuma, hopefully that will take it down in one hit. Right. I do see that being a bit lower in level does absolutely nothing to these TemTems, which kind of explains why we got defeated by General X back in Kisiba. After all, his TemTem or his team back then was really strong. I'm pretty sure if you did have a team that is as strong as his at that point, he would still end up defeating you, and you probably would have to go through the whole cutscene that we have went through as well. There we go. Once we do defeat him, we get a chance to go through this last one and picking up this item. Most of these items are sellable and some of them are supposed to be used for breeding. I think that is pretty cool. Heading back, we have this keyhole here, which I'm just gonna go ahead and name the 9th keyhole, or the 8th one probably. This one's pretty small. All you have to do is climb down here to get this item. Let me quickly head back and go to the next keyhole, which is probably across the water here. Here it is. This one I think has a couple more items. Yep, here is the map. We do have a sticker, but I do need to revive my team or just heal them up. Picking up the sticker and going to the end, we have the 10th keyhole, which I'm not going to really interact with. We do get an encounter here, but once we go through that battle, I'm able to go ahead and select my Grunder to activate this one. I think it's time for me to just go ahead and head outside. Heading back to where we were, I believe I have to go to the 11th one, which is right here. Oh yes, I am skipping the 11th one, so we're just gonna go ahead and go to the 12th keyhole. This one is a bit unique as it connects to the 13th and 14th one. The main reason to go through this one is that you'll be able to find this layer device hidden here. Once you go through it, you can make your way down. Alright, we have the opposite of Dr. Sasaya here. Let's see if she will battle us, which she does. I'm guessing she is in this world working for Belsoto clan. It's actually quite interesting to see how Belsoto clan would be actually trying to save the world in this area. I mean, this is the higher bow. I guess I should be expecting it to be opposite, but I wasn't. So I'm pretty interested in this idea. Wonder how that would have been. Now we do have around 4 TemTems to defeat here. I do have to be a bit careful, but Rockfall usually solves all of my problems, which technically it almost did here as well. Using Fond Whip, we are able to take down Grumper. As for Nezla, I'm hoping to take it down in the next turn. We have Amphitter, which means I might have to switch out Ushkai. Now I do have this question to everyone. What do you really do when you are going through these games? In my case, if I'm going through an area like this where I do have to go through a lot of battles, I just put up a documentary in the side and just listen to it when I'm going through it. It helps me go through these hour-long videos and it makes it much more fun to play this game as well. I'm surprised that Dr. Sosaya actually has a Luma Zobin here, or I should say it's probably Umbra due to its color. Possibly she has gone through a layer to actually defeat and get a Umbra, I would say TemTem, or maybe she just got super lucky. Once we defeat her, climbing up this wall, we'll see the 13th and the 14th keyhole here. The 14th one is pretty helpful if you're just trying to avoid all of the tamers. Otherwise, I would just recommend going through the 12th one. We quickly go ahead and defeat her as well. I also see that I have crossed an hour. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and go through another tamer to get the item and then probably try to end out this episode. We do have around, I would say 6 different keyholes to teleport through, and I probably will go through them in the next one. The game is also crashing a lot, so I might have to just look into it before I go to the next episode. So definitely need some time to fix that one as well. This tamer was a bit easier to defeat, which is good. Moving forward, we have the item. After it, we can definitely talk to this one. I see that most of these tamers don't really defeat you unless you actually interact with them, so they are all pretty optional. This one looks like the Two Master Sophia, but of course we just have to go ahead and quickly defeat her. Thankfully, I do have Antan up in front, so this should be a bit easier. Alright, let me quickly go ahead and defeat Leolai first and then go for Piggyback. I do have Nagai's Fury, which probably will help, but I do have to switch out Antan since we do have Dukai up front. Maybe switching into Grunder would have helped. There we go, using a crystal type move. Alright, that did pretty well. Might stick in with Antan. Mineral Hall is pretty good, and I'm just gonna use energy manipulation. Really thought that would have taken it down. We do get hit by a powerful tornado. Thankfully not a water type move. Using Mineral Hall or Hail in this case, we are able to take down at least one of the TemTem. For the last one, I'm just gonna try and use a random move. Let me also heal up Nagais and take it down. There we go. That was pretty easy. I think this is where I'll just go ahead and end out this episode. In the next one, we're just gonna continue through with the other, I would say, keyholes that are remaining, as well as the main one where we have to complete our quest with. Unfortunately, the question mark is now gone, but I do have a map of where I'm supposed to be, so it's much easier. Either way, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you did, please put a like, and if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to my channel, as it really helps me a lot. If you'd like to support me more in other ways, check out the links down in the description. But I'll see you all in the next one.